cut off abruptly. So, where were we? A lot of things are happening now from where I left. For those who want to, I put that video on. The fact is, Ya wanted to remain ordinary. That's what Vulture told him. So these two sentences that came up to Laali were, it is not easy to accept yourself for who you are. It is easy to accept yourself for who you are if you don't look at yourself with the eyes of others. Two thoughts. They all came from him. Both these statements were not Vultures talking mind to mind with him. They were his own reflection, his own insight, his own realization, and the words kept grinding themselves into his mind. The wind kept phasing him about. He was fast losing altitude. Why? Because he was focused on his new discovery that came from inside him. For a change, he was not listening to others. He knew it was just a matter of telling himself seriously enough, and his inner self would abide. His little voice loved him for who he was. It's not his fault that he has a gift of flying or talking in a strange new language. It is not his fault that he is who he is. He screamed out loud, and his scream went piercing through the clouds into the blue. It is not my fault! In fact, it is my gift. I am programmed with these things. I don't have to do any hard work to exercise my gift. It's part of who I am. Like lifting my hand is part of who I am. It comes naturally. Twiddling my nose is part of who I am. It comes naturally. So does these things of talking mind to mind and understanding strange languages that like Aulama spoke. It's pretty natural to me. So that's who I am. And then you realize that's what Ma meant. Ma branch, that you are special and you will discover your specialness as you go experiencing different things in life, good and bad. That scream tightened something in his stomach. He drew in a very long breath, pulled himself together, and darted upwards through the clouds past clusters of birds and reached his spot behind Vulture, flying silently like Vulture. Yes, I can accept myself for what I am, and I am accepting myself for who I am, good or bad. Period. Period means full stop. Chapter 8. Now, this new Laali, the one who is so confident about himself, the one who's fully owned what his gifts are, the one who's fully owned his skills that he's learned, his hard work that he put in, the bravery that he showed about getting cut off from the tree and flying to a strange land with a stranger Vulture. This new leaf, is entering the Blue Bugyal. So chapter 8 is at the Blue Bugyal, the Blue Valley. Bugyal in the northern language actually means valley. Pankharu stood at her window with her prayer in her heart for Vulture to return soon with good news, with that one leaf which may be their last hope. Just as she was about to turn away from the window, two pigs, pink and cheery, were squealing behind each other, snorting and shouting, "You pig, you broke my house, you slime ball, I will kill you." Those words piercing through her, she had never heard anyone raise their voices to each other, leave alone curse and abuse at the Blue Bugyal. Pankru pressed her palms to her ears and looked away in pain. Things were going from bad to worse. Not only the flowers and plants, but now the birds and animals too were falling ill, hungry and confused that they were. They had now begun getting into terrible fights with one another. No one knew what to do, and the one who knew a bit was too weak to speak. Pankru. She tried to explain to Gilahari, the squirrel. Gilahari is a squirrel even in Hindi. No point giving them strange names. They have a name, right? Gilahari the squirrel, but could not get words out from her throat. Pankru was sad. She had never imagined that there would be such violence and terror in her beautiful Blue Bugyal. The things that happened around took away all remaining joy from her heart. This was the big secret of hers. She had spent days trying to fly above flowers and ailing animals and birds she could not understand. All she knew in her heart was that she wanted to help them, reach out. The more she saw how they were growing ill and bad-tempered, the more she grew sad and ill, till such day that she could not get up and leave her pollen nest, her house, any more. Pankru felt such sadness like she'd never done before. She could not get her strength back and waited with hope in her heart. Vulture and Lali landed on the flat boulder over the lake from where Lali could get a clear view of this paradise on earth, the blue bugyal. It was a deep blue-green color all around as if bouncing off the rocks and trees. Things seemed to be moving very slowly. He thought he blinked and it took him a few seconds before his eyelids opened again. It was nice and surreal in a way, but a bit discomforting. Looked around and from up and down also, but could not see any living creature. There was an eerie silence in the air. A soft ache began to grow in his head and heart. Within a few minutes he fell into a strange deep sleep. When he woke up, he could not recollect how much of how he had gotten there. All he knew was that he was about to meet his friend, and that he was here on a mission. No one in the Blue Bugyal knew that Vulture had taken off. When they saw him with his strange new leaf, they didn't have a clue what to make of it, and they sure had better things to worry about. Only Pankru knew that Vulture had gone on a mission. Vulture knew that it had taken them 5 instead of the usual 3 days to reach this far, and there was not much time to lose. Laali drifted around for a while. I must first meet Pankru. He didn't know where she was in this vast magical place. Wherever he took a step thinking it was a cave, he hit his head and found that to be a wall. Things weren't as they appeared. The creatures were touched in the head too. When he asked a flower if she had seen Pankru, she laughed at him. Drink some, dance some, fruits will come. Drink some, dance some, fruits will drum. Drink some, dance some, fruits will boo. The crazed flower began to sing and spin her head round and round, deliriously, 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 like seriously, but deliriously, sobbing on Lali's shoulder. Lali followed his feeling and drifted towards a narrow opening in a tree, not narrow enough for him. He waited at the door, not sure what to do next. Just then, a meek voice came from inside. Lali, is that you? Startled, he drew himself closer to the door. Yes, it's Lali, so it is. His voice trembled. Could you come in and get me some water from the pot there? The weak voice pleaded. Lali hesitatingly stepped on a mud floor inside the crack in the tree. Fresh fragrance of jasmine hit his nose, and his head began to feel light. He could feel that he was in the presence of someone familiar. Was it Pankru? Looking around, he saw a small window in the shape of a blooming lotus, and a white bed near the window. Come to me, Lali, it's me, Pankru. Pankru, my friend Pankru. Lali rushed to her bedside and kneeled, taking her palm in his. He felt like he was touching a snowflake. She looked so fragile. I feel so much better now that you are here. She looked him in the eye and held her hand out. He pressed her palm and reassured her. You will get well, Pankru, and everything will be all right. Seeing you makes me so happy. Look, she spread one of her wing out, and the colors on her wings shimmered. A sparkle lit the edges. You have come. Now I will get better very soon. Pausing to take a breath, she continued. Yes, I just cannot get myself to be cheerful again. Never before have I felt so helpless. I do not know what to do, and now I feel a small bulb of happiness is glowing inside me, now that you are here. And remember, is from the Medicine Nature clan. He is a leaf, and leaves can heal. So his presence, his touch, already started healing Pankaru. Besides, they had spent their birthing hours together inside the same womb of the pupa, and that Memory came back once they touched each other. In the body has a memory. So they remembered, their bodies remembered how it is to come alive, be born again, to grow, to become someone healthy and happy. All of these memories came back. Keep in touch with this bulb. Remember our song? Lali pressed her hand tight. It's yours, this bulb, the bulb of happiness. It has its own reason to remain yours no matter what happens around you. And he wondered how he was suddenly sounding more like a grown up. You know, when you go on adventures, you suddenly feel something has grown inside you. You have to make a lot of decisions lately, isn't it? You've had to make. You should be playing with the other leaf fellows, singing and dancing with the breeze. First, you could not have a normal childhood, and now, when you're barely in your teens, you have set out to kill yourself, coming so far away from home to take care of problems that are not even yours to begin with. It was common knowledge that a leaf cannot survive without being attached to the tree. Within days, he would turn from green to yellow, then brown, and eventually die. Lally looked up at her with surprise and was about to ask if she too knew the art of mind to mind talking. He looked in her eyes, something inside told him it was not necessary to ask any more. I have very little time with me, Pankru. If I have to help the creatures of Blue Bugyal, Vulture says, only you can help me help them. What's the use, Lali? She looked sad. You don't know what has happened here in the time Vulture has been away. The beautiful creatures of this paradise on earth who do not know the meaning of hurt have now started killing each other in broad daylight. Those who swore their love for one another now spend sleepless nights frightened of one another. They all have become so terrified and confused that they've lost themselves entirely. Even if you and I find a way to bring peace and order back in this valley, the creatures will not be able to remove this ugliness from within them. They will not know the way back to goodness. Lali, they don't know who they really are anymore. Pankru cried in desperation. You may be right, but somehow I cannot find it within me to really agree with you, Pankru. That there is no way left. There is, and there has to be. There is always a way. There was a knock at the door. Vulture here. Can I come in? We have been waiting for you, Vulture, sir, Pankru began. We need you to tell us if you think there is any hope left for Blue Bogyal. I'm trying to tell Lali that even if he knew the way to goodness, we knew the way to goodness again, we would not be able to unlearn all the sad and bad things we have known now. We will never be the same again. To be beautiful, one has to feel beautiful. Show me one reason that will make me feel beautiful again. Don't we know that to feel good, one needs to experience good and happy things in one's life again? Pankru's words were convincing, but all three of them looked at each other, searching each other's faces for answers to come. If we think hard, then I'm sure we will come up with a happy, happy solution. If we think, I'm sure we will get an idea that will make us all happy. What do you say? Lally was getting desperate, or was he feeling close to a solution? Was he feeling it? Because he indeed repeated the same words had told him when Pankru was a caterpillar in the pupa trapped with Lally. When Lally was feeling hopeless and he was afraid he was going to die without ever seeing the sunlight again. And Pankru had reminded him that we can surely come up with a happy, happy solution. They looked at each other with a big smile filled up the room. This had happened before. They went back into time with their birth song. You're right. So let's think. Let us switch on the bulb in our heads. Let's sing. An idea will come flying through. You hoo 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 hoo. If you want to think, you must first play. If you want to think, you must first play, 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 play. If you want to think, you must first play. If you want to think, you must first play. Hey, hey, play, hey. Chuck it all, go out and play. Hey, 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 hey. Chuckle thoughts, go out and play. Hey, hey. Kick the ball of worries in the basket. Kick the ball of worries in the basket and stray. Hey, hey, stray, hey. Wander about, stray, hey. Daydream, stray, hey. If you want to think, you must first play, hey. Like the dog chases the cat, like the cat chases the mice, like the dog chases the cat, like the cat chases the mice, run and chase away worries once, twice, and thrice every day. Run and chase away worries once, twice, and thrice every day. Hey, 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 hey. Then an idea will come flying through to you. You. Then an idea will come flying through to you. You. If you want to think, if you want to think, first go out and play. Try and sing with me. Come on. Did you? I think you did. If you want to think, you must first play, hey, hey, play, hey, hey. Chuck it all, kick the ball of worries in the basket and stray, hey, 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 stray, hey, hey. And they all sang that song on, forgetting all about their dilemma. Delirious with the hope rising in their hearts, they sang and sang and sang on and on. The more they sang the song, the more they were convinced that something will happen to help the Blue Bugyal. The trust in their hearts grew larger and larger. The song took them away, and they danced through the valley, hand in hand. Oops. Mm-mm-mm. They, hand in hand, went from tree to river, and river to bushes, and bushes to caves, and caves to nests, and nests to grasslands, and on they went. We sing for our souls are free. We sing for our souls are free. We sing for I am in you and you in me. We sing for our souls are free. We sing for I am in you and you in me. In me. If you want to think, you must first play. Hey, hey. You will see night turn into a day. Hey, hey. If you want to sing, if you want to think, you must first play. If you want an idea, you must first play. Come on out, let's play. Hey, 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 hey. All the creatures of the valley heard this song and were drawn to it strongly. Everyone began to follow the three and naturally began to hum the song. Gradually, they all burst out loud and sang. The valley was filled with echoes from their singing. Those hiding in fear slowly began to step out to see what was going on. Those roaming around like bullies began to drink gallons of water while they stopped to listen to this tune, which was doing something strange but wonderful to them. Those who felt confused and angry seemed to calm down. Their faces looked happy and beautiful. Naturally, they kept singing this song again and again and again. The singing became hypnotic. The whole valley echoed with only one song. Whether anyone followed the language of the song or not, they were gripped in a trance. That's what songs can do. They're like a wave, and they take you away on the wave of music. You can go away and ride and feel free and feel flowing again. And that's what music does. All the creatures left their hideouts and began to follow Lali and Pankaru. Vulture hovered over the top and looked at what was happening. Everyone gathered around at the big boulder near the river and continued singing and dancing deliriously. Here's that word again, deliriously. They seemed to be reminded of their original nature. Fear and hate and all the ugliness seemed to be leaving them. Vulture could see a dark cloud rise from the gathering below, and suddenly, as if he was gripped by someone, he He flew right down in amidst the gathering and began to do a madcap dance, jiggling his belly, rolling his eyeballs, flapping his wings in wild directions, and making funny faces. He looked so cute. The crowd watched him and burst out in a mad frenzy of laughter. Amidst peals of hilarity, creatures rolled in the soil and laughed and tears ran down their cheeks. Squirrel and mongoose, the snake and the swallow, the tiger and the wild sheep, deer and rabbit, all the magic makers and shakers could not help themselves when they saw Vulture do the funny act. Ankru flew above the mad crowd and sprinkled gold dust from her wings with the prayer, "We are good. We always do good and feel beautiful. We see goodness in others, and that's the way we always were and will always remain. We all return to our good, whole selves, now and forever. We are protected. We are loved. We are adored." And she kept sprinkling her golden magic dust from her wings. From a distance you could see her dust flying up, filling up the moonlit valley, and a pink cloud of joy rise from the dancing crowd below, like a firecracker burst from the crust of the earth. The whole valley danced in slow motion, glowing pink. Do the slow motion. Always nice to do the slow motion. The hysterical laughter, the song and dance went on for 3 days and nights without stopping. Pankru and Lali were the only two who had gone ahead of that condition and were getting into their thinking caps. Thinking that they had lost Vulture to the madness, Lali and Pankru had begun to think further. They headed towards Jeevdatta, the mighty tree, to look for some solution. The mighty magical tree, remember? The one who gives all the magical fruits. What do we do, Lali? I have never seen Vulture go so crazy before, said Pankru. Hmm, I don't know, but look at the bright side, Pankru. Your wings are laden with gold dust again, and now you have your vitality back. Hmm? There is one thing I must ask you now, Lali replied. What is it, Lali? Said Pankru. Do you know that you can talk with me mind to mind? I mean, I did not know till I was on my way here. Vulture helped me figure it out. I always thought that my gift was to be able to fly, but really, it's not that. It's to be able to talk mind to mind. Yes, I can talk mind to mind, but not as well as you can, Lali. Since I also have the gift of healing with my wing dust, my ability to talk mind to mind is a bit weak. That is why I had to ask Vulture to go out and look for you. They were flying through the narrow path around the hill which leads to Jevdatta. Lali looked at the little yellow spot which had appeared on his arm this morning. We must hurry up and find a way. There are only 4 days left. I will have to fly back home soon after that. I promised Ma and my friends and family that no matter what happens, I will return home, give my body to the dust below my home tree there, and once again become part of that life cycle. Like all my foremothers and forefathers, I must continue the tradition. I will become dust, like every other leaf on that tree, and flow back as food into the roots of the tree, and finally be part of the rain tree again, Jhadba. Who knows when a caterpillar might want to eat me up? At this, they both burst into laughter. You remember, right in the beginning, Catpill, Pankru was Catpill. Hmm? And that is the end of chapter 8. And there was quite a lot of things that happened, right? Hmm. I'd like to sit and doodle and sketch out some of these moments that I experience right now. Some of them are beautiful, wasn't it? What are you going to do with the rest of your day? I'm sure you're going to do something very interesting, happy, imaginative, fun, loving, kind. And you can be all of these things to yourself no matter what's happening around you or inside you. You know the magic trick now. So I'll see you tomorrow again for chapter 9 and chapter 10, and that's going to be the end of this long fable. And I'd like to show you some more drawings from this fable. If you like that, come back again. Have a happy, safe day with your family and stay at home. In this time, we are not stepping out. You know why? It's a protective measure so that we can spend more fun time at home with our families. Are you going to bake something? Are you going to make cookies? Are you going to try out something with, you know, mud or drawing or paper? What you going to do? I'm sure you're going to do all fun things by the time. And if you like Tweety Bird, let me know because he's sulking today, not coming out. But if you send requests and say, I want to meet Tweety Bird again, I can try and convince Tweety. Tweety is like kind of, spotlight seeker. He needs attention a lot. So if you say, I want Tweety, I want Tweety, I want Tweety, then Tweety will come out. Okay. Hmm. Stay safe. Stay red and glowing like my nose. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Arrivederci. Tata. Sayonara. Mm, mm, mm. Video ending also.